How you guys doing? I have a giant hat on, I have a hood on, I have gloves on, but I also have two sickening Nitros. This is the Traxxas Slayer Pro 4x4, and right under it is the HPI Hellfire SS. And today, it's about 10 to 12 degrees Fahrenheit outside. Very cold. I hate wearing gloves. But people always say, oh, it's hard to start a Nitro in the cold. Can you run them in the cold? I figured, why not pull out a pair of Nitros and just simply fire them up. I'll go over a couple tuning tips and what to look out for, how to adjust the carburetor when running in extremely cold conditions. Let's do a temperature check before I fire both of these up. It is 13 degrees outside here in New York City. A small disclaimer before I fire these up: ideally in cold conditions and pretty much anytime you're firing up Nitros, you want to use a proper head warmer that will heat up the motor before you fire it up. Now in this case, I'm doing this as the worst case scenario. You just bought a Nitro, you got the Traxxas Slayer Pro. You don't have a head warmer. All you have is the Traxxas Easy Start wand. That's all you got, guys. Oh, but what if you bought some kind of HPI? Now this is a Hellfire, but in reality it's basically the same exact system as you would have on a Savage. The Savage XL, you would just simply have an auto start. This is a good representation of some cold weather Nitro fire-ups. But once again, please understand, you need to warm up the engine before you do this. For this video and this video only, I will not be warming anything up. We are doing a literal cold start. Let's fire up the Hellfire. First thing, systems electronics check. Now in the severe cold, the capacity and ability of the batteries to do any work is severely diminished. Just ask a Tesla driver. Okay, I'm going to prime it. We're not preheating nothing. This motor has already been broken in, so I don't want you guys to think I'm trying to kill it. This motor is not obviously from this, because this was previously a kit. Let's prime it. Oh man, my battery doesn't even spin it. The battery's dead. You see that? Can't even spin it over. Need to go get a battery swap. Got a tangled mess of LiPo batteries out here now. Either way, it should be okay. Let's prime it and fire it up in the severe cold. All right, I just saw fuel. Let's get the glow driver in. Severe cold kills everything, morale and Teslas alike. Everything in the cold is harder to do. Oh, there we go. Nope. Second battery is already basically not doing anything. Come on, HPI. Second battery's dead. I'm on a third battery right now, small 2S. Let's keep doing it. Finally, almost. This is tough, guys. No preheating is tough. There we go. Finally. It's running. Well, I ran into a whole ton of problems, but it's running. did start, but it wasn't easy, I'll tell you that. It was fairly rough. Well guys, I'm not gonna lie to you, that was tougher than I expected. I had things happen on this motor that have never happened before. The one-way bearing started actually slipping without the preheating. Now preheating, maybe that condition would have already existed, the slipping of the bearing, I don't know. But we all know it fired up. Do you need to preheat your nitro motor? The answer is usually yes. This one is not exactly new, but you cannot kill a nitro. Let's fire up the Traxxas Slayer. It's Slayer time. Oh, there we go. No problem for the Traxxas Slayer. Even the cold cannot kill it. Seems like, let it settle down here with the idle a little bit. If it doesn't, we will adjust some of the tuning settings on the car. Okay, this is a good point. We need to richen it. All right, I richened it up about half of a turn, and the idle has slightly settled down. This was a very good example. An easy start on a Traxxas. No problem at all. I am happy that I actually had to richen it up a little bit, because there's a reason why. I'm gonna let it run here and then I'll explain to you guys why that had to happen. A lot of oil coming out of here from the pipe. Running nice and rich. Even in the super cold weather. Let me shut it down here now. Slayer fired up no problem, as you just saw. It was kind of moving forward. That means the idle was too high. It's a cold day, and I know I started this video with telling you guys, oh, I'm gonna give you a couple tips for cold weather tuning. That was a perfect example. When the air is very cold, that means the air is also dense outside. Now, denser air means you need to compensate for the air to fuel ratio. Cold, dense air means you generally need to richen up the motor in order to allow more fuel to flow into the cylinder. And that is as simple as it gets, guys. The colder it is outside, for a properly tuned nitro motor, you need to richen it up a little bit. Now, I did about half of a turn, but it is not out of the question of going about a full turn, depending on how drastic the temperature variance and how cold it actually is. From winter to summer, I would say you would need to compensate about a complete turn on the high-speed needle. Now, there are more factors involved for running in cold weather. Some people wrap the cooling head in aluminum foil to keep the heat inside, but I'll be honest with you, you shouldn't really have to do that. If you've normally tuned the nitro motor to run in its optimal temperature range, about 220 to 230 degrees or so, you shouldn't have a problem operating your nitro in the winter time. Now, as I said earlier, disclaimer, you really should be using an engine warmer to fire up the nitro. Makes that first start a little bit easier. Today was more or less a demonstration on, will it start in about 11-degree Fahrenheit weather? The answer is yes, they will start. Well guys, thank you so much for watching. This is a bit of a tip video brought to you by the Nitro Gang. If you support this channel, you like what I do, please leave a like, leave me a comment, subscribe to the channel, and also consider becoming a channel member. I'll be back with you guys in the future. Keep making Nitro great again. Nitro World Order.
Nitro World Order.